talking about that, were you ever in any non-scripted altercations? And if you were, how did WWE handle it?
What are you talking about?
Like did
non-scripted?
Meaning
like fights? Yeah, I think I've talked about it on here before. There was the Mark Merrill thing, right? It didn't come down to a fight. He didn't want to fight me, and no, yeah, no. Yes. How did they handle it? They said they were going to find me. So, no, I think I've talked about it on here, no?
So just commit. Just
well, I mean, I can
it.
tell it again briefly, but I hate to beat a dead horse over and over.
No,
but,
of course, yeah.
But there was Luna. I was married to Luna. Luna was working a program with Sable. I hung out with Stephanie McMahon a lot, so I was having lunch with Stephanie. The door swings open, or the door comes in. Mark Merrill and Sable sit down next to Stephanie, which is very weird. We're having lunch and catering. I'm like, that's weird, but whatever. But then the door like flies open really crazy, and Luna comes in, and all her terror and insanity, and starts cutting a promo on Mark Merrill saying, I would never hurt Sable in a match, but blah, 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 but I'll bite a chunk out of your face before you knock me out, you pussy, blah, 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 blah. And she went to go jump on Mark Merrill, and Shane McMahon grabbed Luna and drug Luna out. And I was like, ooh, awkward. I go, now I know why they sat there, because they knew that was coming. So, I got to take awkward bite of my lunch. And Mark Merrill starts talking shit, and like, blah, 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 you don't think I paid my dues? But, he didn't get to that part yet. I'm sorry. He said, you see what I got to deal with. And I believe he used either the T word or the C word towards Luna, like that effing or whatever. And then I remember having to put my food and fork down, especially my fork, so I wouldn't stab him in the throat with it. And then I go, listen, you came in here, basically I said you sat by here knowing that there was a whirlwind of shit coming because you guys can't get along and blah, blah, blah. You should just, but don't say that about, my wife. I mean, that's right. I can't let you say that. You want to go tell her that. Why did you tell her that? Like, basically whatever. But then he started cutting back and forth saying we were trained by the same person. I have no respect for him. Blah blah blah. He'll beat my ass. So then I lost my temper and then I only get in fights when I'm sick. When I'm not feeling good. That's the only time I snap. Other than that, I'm just like, whatever.
Interesting.
Man. Get out, yeah. But if I'm under the weather, I snap. Like I'm just not very good at being sick. And I had the flu. And if I remember right, I might even had the diarrhea. It was bad. It was a bad day, and I was not feeling good. But I was just getting through it because you can't. There's no days off there. You work. Oh, I'm missing a toe. Well, can you make it out to the ring? Or you got diarrhea, or you're sick, or you got food poisoning, or what? No, you go. Or somebody else takes your spot too. Back then, it's different now, different world now. But back then, that was the situation. So, but I wasn't feeling good, and then he started with all that, and then I got really upset because he basically said he would beat me up, and I was like, "Come on,"
Yeah.
So he wouldn't get up. I flipped the catering. Stephanie moved, and I flipped the catering table thing, and I was coming around, and a lot of people laughed because they said everybody just kind of lined the walls up in catering. They just wanted to see him get beat up. I guess he had so much heat. And then I came out and was like, come on. He goes, I'm not fighting you. And then he put his hands under the chair and was like, well, I'm fighting you. And then I went, and rest in peace, another brother we lost just not too long ago, Draws, grabbed me, Darren Draws-off. He grabbed me as I was coming to punch him. I said, I'm fighting you. And he drugged me. So first you see Luna drug out by Shane. Then you see Darren Draws, like, fuck you, motherfucker. And then I'm looking over, and meanwhile, Godfather, Papa Shango, Godfather, is sitting with Vince McMahon. They're just like, I see that. I'm like, whatever, man. I'm fired. So I think I'm fired. I'm like, whatever. And I get out there, and they go, Vince wants to see you in his office. And I didn't see Luna or them anymore, like at that point. I don't know where. I was like, where they're at, but I'm like, I don't care. Done anyways. I'm not feeling good. So when you're not feeling good, I'm like, yeah, fire.
Nothing matters.
Yeah, nothing fire me, he's fucking asshole and whatever. So I go into his office, and then Luna's sitting in there, and Sable and Mark are sitting in there. Vince isn't in there yet, but the only seat left is at a desk where Vince would be sitting. It's his office at the TV. So I sat down in it, and I said, well, if I'm going to get fired, I'm going to go out with style. I put my feet up on the desk. I leaned back. And he walked in, and I started laughing. And he looked at me, and I started laughing. And he goes, I'm glad. I wish we could all find the humor in this. Can you explain to me why you're laughing? And I said, they got me. And He goes, what do you mean? I said, they just drugged me into it. I got to hear her cry about this shit on the road every night. And these people dragging me out. They drugged me into it. He goes, yes, they did. And he goes, if you hit them, you're fired. Get out of my office. And he kept them in there and fined them and everything. So I didn't get fined or anything for that. He just told me to go. Get out of it. Don't hit him. If I hit him, I get fired. God. That was it. No, he knew they drugged me in. They all drugged me in. I don't do domestic. I don't do drama like that. That's too much.
Yeah.
But I wasn't feeling good that day, or I probably could have overlooked it somehow and found a better route. But when I'm not feeling good, I tend to, I'm a little bit snappy. A little snappy. If you could tell this week at the school, I hadn't been feeling so well.
That's how I was like, that's good to know now, because now I know when to be on my best behavior, which is always, but I mean, you know what I mean.
So just send me a text going, hey, how you feeling this week? Well, I'm not going to class, this guy.